This is just off topic. I gotta let y'all know this. My adrenaline, because there might be somebody that's dealing with this. My adrenaline be rushing so much, it causes me to be anxious. Once I'm anxious, it then causes me being anxious causes me to drag my feet to where I have so many ideas that I have so many things I'm trying to do. I can't get to all of them at once. Or I might stay stuck on one thing for so long, for the whole day, and it's like I didn't have to do that. All I had to do was just knock it out. You know what I'm saying? So I just been going through that stuff for today, man. I had called off because it was just like the snow was so bad, man. The buses wasn't running. They weren't showing up or anything like that. And so I'm like, yo, I took today to rest. I deserve it. You know what I mean? Use some PTO, you know what I'm saying? And I just want to let everybody know, man, if y'all whatever y'all want to do, y'all can do it, man. Don't ever give up. Ever in life, don't you give up, man. No matter how old you are, if you feel like you're too old or if you feel like you're too young and you don't know anything, you can always better yourself and do what you got to do.
For, I'd say 45 to 50 minutes before you find this house. This house. As soon as I pull up into the garage, I immediately just have this overwhelmingly heavy feeling that I really can't explain. Two other people had arrived. They were there taking care of a lot of the organizational details. And I walked in, and my two friends are standing in the kitchen here and here. These are pictures of the property. And I walk in automatically just with my sensitivities. I am like, there is something up there that is funky, and I don't like it.
Focus,
and I
y'all.
don't want to go near it.
This is my first video
like
back today, so
and it is highly dark, highly uncomfortable. And so my two friends in the kitchen are like, "Hey, Meg, how's it going? We're glad you're here." I'm like, "Yeah. How are you guys doing?" They're like, "We're great." And I'm like, yeah. Other than the thing that's up those stairs that's been staring at you the whole time, and they were like, "Oh my God, we were waiting for you."
Oh, so she can see stuff. She's like a medium. She can see stuff.
And we're freaked out, and we wanted to know what you thought because they know I've got like sensitivities or whatever. I walked up the stairs, and I got to about this spot right here, and I stopped because I literally felt like an energetic wall, like, do not go any further. My friend said, "That's really weird. That's literally as far as we went to before you got here." And we were, they were just checking out the house, and they went up into that weird little loft attic area, and they were like, "Nope, no further." This is the top of the stairs.
Did y'all see my Misfit shirt? This is my favorite shirt.
Look way down in this loft area. There's a little door with a crawl space, and it was shut.
My favorite shirt, hands down.
As people started arriving, we were having fun joking, and one of the women went up there, and we were talking about how creepy it was, and she said, "Was the door open when you guys went up there?" The crawl space door had been opened, and none of us had been up there. So that night, we're just kind of settling into the house, settling into the weekend, trying to figure out what's on the agenda, trying to have a good time. But if you're sensitive, you can just tell from these pictures.
Right.
The place just had a creepy vibe. Those two same friends are sleeping in this room. And I am sleeping down here, downstairs, alone on a pull-out couch. First thing we notice is the incredible amount of dead insects all over the floor and into the sheet. That night, one of my friends had her electronics go crazy at 3 a.m. I felt such a heavy layer of darkness. The first night I tried to go to sleep downstairs here on that pull-out couch, I felt like things were staring at me, circling me. I was this close to getting up and leaving in the middle of the night with a 2-hour drive home, rolling in at 5 a.m. with my husband, like, what are you doing? But I got this very clear message. You need to stay, and you need to help.
Real quick, y'all, I just want to say, we're assuming that these are real. We don't know that their stories are real, but we can assume, like me, I believe that their stories are real. I would never say, like, oh, they're lying. But I always wondered, though, someone is lying. Not everybody, but somebody's like, maybe nobody right now, but I always feel like that, like certain stories, we really don't know if they're true or not, unless I guess maybe we actually feel something ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, oh, like this person's telling the truth. Like, there's no way, you know, but I always wondered that. I just wanted to say that, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I believe her, though. I believe her.
Some kind of energetic barrier. I had a dream when I eventually fell asleep that the entire property was surrounded by fire, and the fire couldn't penetrate this weird line that we were all trying to hold. So I was like, fine, okay, I guess I will stay in this freaky ass house. The next morning, we're all hanging out on the balcony and talking, having breakfast, having coffee, and people start to share their experiences. People were touched. People staying in the upstairs bedroom in the bunk beds had water dripped onto their faces, coming out of nowhere, and there were no leaks in the ceiling. It wasn't raining that weekend. Later that day, when most of the crew was playing yard games, like down here in the grass, one of the women was hanging out over here, and there was a deck of cards that literally got blown, and the cards were like flung into her face. I have no idea how that happened. Okay. At this point, I am getting so
crazy. All right.
Feeling so sick, I need to go lie down. I'm alone in the house again, but I'm watching everybody from outside these windows where I'm
already sounds weird.
I can't point. And at this point, I'm just praying. Like, I'm here for a reason. These are people that I really care about and love, and I do not want to leave them here because I feel like I can be more helpful trying to hold off whatever this thing is. I did eventually run out to the corner store to test and make sure that the physical symptoms I was experiencing were really tied to the house and not just something going on with me. And as soon as I left the house, I felt so much better, but I had to come back. People were having personality changes while at the house. Like, they would start to withdraw, go take a shower, try and like snap out of it because they just felt something come over them. What I was picking up on primarily that kind of like lived in that upstairs loft area was something that was not nor had ever been human. This sounds really crazy because I've had run-ins with some really, really dark, start with the D word kind of entities. This wasn't even that. It almost felt like not from here, if you catch my drift. But It was, what I saw in my mind's eye was almost like a spidery looking thing. And it's interesting because another woman who was there told me that they saw a spidery looking image of this big nasty thing like crawl from up in this main area down the stairs into the loft area where we were sleeping. And what's odd is that the safe places in the house would change depending on the time of day. It's like the rooms would just start to feel off. Another person said they were almost picking up on the presence of a man, like an older man. I wasn't picking up on a person, dead or alive, definitely a thing. The second night, one of my friends and I were just so uncomfortable about the idea of going to sleep that we just stayed up kind of deliriously talking to each other until, God, it must have been close to 4 a.m. Just to not be asleep and unconscious in that environment. What's so weird and actually kind of miraculous if you think about it is that the bride was not affected. She was the only one out of all of us who had no idea what was going on because she was in her soon-to-be-wed splendor. And also, this particular person has an incredible amount of spiritual protection around her. So we were all really grateful for that, and we kind of like whisper about what happened to you last night. This happened to me in the bathroom earlier, and we were all just kind of keeping it out of the realm of awareness of the bride, fortunately. By the last morning, I'll never forget, one of my friends had set up a beautiful...
This is what I'm talking about, because if they would have brought something up like that, it would have made it seem like they were jealous as bridesmaids. And like, I'm not trying to be funny, but like, that's the vibe that I'm getting, me personally, as a man. Like, that's how the bride would have took it. That's how her family or someone would have took it like that. If it wasn't the bride, someone would have said something like, "Oh, y'all bitches I'm sorry." But I'm saying, like, if they would have brought that up to the bride, someone would have stepped on toes and said, "Hey, y'all are sitting here saying that y'all are seeing stuff and this and that. I feel like y'all are jealous of this bride because y'all ain't getting married." And then it would have became something personal and something completely way different. And I feel like that's what that negative energy wants to feed on. Whatever negative energy that she claimed to see, that's what was feeding. That's what would have been feeding off something like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's an amazing thing that they didn't say nothing to the bride, maybe until after the fact. You know what I'm saying? Then you would tell her whatever the case may be. But yeah, man, this story is crazy. We have a little bit left here in the video, and then we're gonna go ahead and continue. We're gonna go ahead and continue, and then we're gonna move on to the next video, man. Let's go ahead and hop into it.
Crepe kind of buffet line, and we were all sitting down around at breakfast, trying to eat and just feeling so uncomfortable, ready to get the heck out of there. Someone said, "So you picking up on anything, Megan?" And it's interesting because at that moment I felt just this overwhelming cloud, almost like darkness from every angle just starting to swoop in, and I said, I think it's time to go. The way everybody collectively pushed back from this table and popped up and got up and grabbed their stuff and started hauling
like
ass out of there. It was like
straight out of a movie.
Other guests had weird experiences. I checked the book, paused to read. If anybody knows who this was, I would love to talk to you about your experience. This one's a little weird. I think some dude had a freaky experience and then leaned into the weirdness and hopefully just exaggerated because they didn't know what to make of it. We all stood outside of that house and we held hands in a circle, and I kind of led everybody through a grounding and protective and clearing exercise because it was so vile. The husband-to-be was actually having his stag party down the road, and they came over because they heard whispers and rumors about what was happening to us that weekend, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna run in and we're gonna take care of it." When they saw the look on our faces and they heard me say absolutely nobody's going into that house, they decided not to go in. I got in my car and was completely silent and white-knuckled my grip on the steering wheel until the tree line broke about an hour later and I was getting closer to home. I burst into tears and started sobbing because up until that point I had never faced anything that dark or malevolent in my life. A few of us called each other after to process what had happened. It was wild.
Salesforce is an incredibly important and strategic investment for Indeed.
It was sort of a light bulb moment.
That's the end of the video right there, man. It's your boy Capaz. We in the theater and I'm out. Make sure y'all tune in each and every day, all day for new videos, man. I'm not stopping. I got tons of content flowing out. And yeah, blessings. Have an amazing night. It's 12:32 in the afternoon. I said it's 12:32 in the afternoon. Put me to bed now. You understand what I'm saying? It's 12:32 in the morning, 12:33 in the morning. It's midnight. Y'all subscribe to the channel. I'm out.